Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Saleh from Ways Primetime. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?
Good morning. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning. Make your Wednesday a win by celebrating the little things and keeping your focus on the big things. Welcome to that youthful inclined breakfast show that's very different from the usual one you come about. This is the show where you hear the youth and vibrant voices talk about conversations ranging from politics to national interest stories, trending issues, physical and mental health like today. And the eyes of the cake is also when we talk about tech world and the financial aspect of our youthful life. My name is Oluchi Omenka, and I never write solo. I'm here, as always, with the beautiful, delectable, magnificent, gorgeous, adorable, wonderful. You're supposed to be spraying me money with all the praises I'm giving to you.
My 52nd birthday.
With all the hype that I gave you. 52nd, that's how many years from now?
Don't worry.
Don't fly, don't fly. So how are we doing today? It's midweek. It's Wednesday. The week started on Monday. I mean, we thought that the week is still going to be very long. But before you know it, Friday's here, Saturday, Sunday.
I guess it's a week to my birthday.
Oh, my God.
I intend to keep it as low as possible. But I remember today was like the week to my birthday. So that's why I'm walking down the aisle of my 52nd birthday party.
Okay, so you're 51 now.
Thank you, darling.
So are you 51 now?
Maybe not.
But I really like, the intro that I gave this morning. See, it's focus on the big things, right? And I remember a conversation I had with somebody yesterday. I was talking with a friend, very light conversation over a drink, but we did not have a drink, but that kind of over a drink conversation. And then I was just mentioning things that as humans, we're in a world where everybody you can slide into, is this sleep now, into complaining all the time. Even when you are not taking note of the fact that you're making significant progress every day. So I was recounting my own life and how things have actually gone up. Do you get it? Somebody was telling me one time that growth is not easy. What's it called now? It's straight. It goes like this. Do you understand? So sometimes, as humans, we really need to sit down many times and reflect. Reflect on where you are, reflect on where you're coming from, reflect on the significant progress that you're making each day. I know that our economy right now is a bit, it's tightening, it's putting us on chokehold. We can't breathe and all of that. But if you
I
look
thought
at
we are
it,
breathing.
it's not figure of speech.
On Monday, while trying to come to work, what I went through as a person, I don't have energy to complain or say anything. Let me just
honestly, at this
continue
time,
the day.
complaining is just going to make you feel more weak.
Exactly.
Have you noticed that when you complain and rant and you're angry, you get tired?
Yeah.
Like you just be weak. Oh, what's
I'm more
next now?
frustrated.
Exactly. So at this point, maybe because it's Wednesday, that's why I'm giving all this, teaser and inspirational speech.
It's good.
I need you to count your blessings. You know that song? Count your blessings, name them one by one.
Like this, now you're taking us to church.
Let me take you from that,
blessings.
taking you to church. I mean, if there's something I've learned in my past, I almost say my past life. I'm sorry, I see too much horror movies.
Okay.
So if there's something I've learned lately is the fact that when you are not conscious of your environment, I mean, you're not paying attention to your present state, you forget that your present state is now a prayer answer.
Yes.
There was a time you prayed for this currency. There was a time you were praying, you were fasting. Every intercession period you have, you're always asking for this
God,
particular thing that you have.
for me.
And now this thing is happening, it's coming with its own challenges, and you're already complaining. You're you're now praying for another thing to happen.
Which is a human thing.
A human thing.
Human mind.
So my own escape route is, instead of me to complain about my current, and just say, oh, thank you Jesus for the next step.
Yes.
Thank you Jesus for this current step. Thank
Very
you.
true.
It can be so hard, to be honest. It can be so hard. I mean, what I went through on Monday morning, I was like, thank you, Jesus.
Very
Let's
true.
just
I
continue.
agree. No, speaking to that, I think also patience is actually something, when I say patience is a virtue. It's something that
I don't believe in the patience. Some things will test your patience that you will shake off.
You have to. Do you know why? The truth is, speaking of where you are right now, is actually like a prayer point that you've been praying 2-3 years ago, right? So it just takes someone that is patient to be able to know that this thing that you're praying for will eventually happen. Will eventually come. Do you get?
Yeah.
Right now, I mean, the goal is way forward. And for everybody that have known me over time, you know that whatever decision I make is not, I don't make decisions based on now. I make decisions based on like
the
future.
I swear, like I don't know why that happens to me, but due to like the kind of family I'm from and all of that, you have to start thinking ahead. You have to think 5 years from now. Okay, where are you seeing yourself, right? What's the plan? And that's why I always tell people to have this all realistic goals. So yeah.
I know we could do a lot of catching up, but we have to take a short break. We have a packed show for you today. But first of all, let's run on a break. And when we return with the headlines across the globe. Stay with us. We'll be right back shortly. Glad to have you back from that break. Now let's take a look at the news from the pages of today's newspaper. Today we have The Punch, The Guardian, and The New York Times. I'll start with The Punch. The major headline reads, again, NNPCL hikes petrol price, fixes 1,060 naira per litre. Refinery fought fuel imports as Tinubu summons Edu, Dangote, and Kyari. 32 states got 55% of revenue from FAAC, says report. Stop ad hoc dollar auction, World Bank tells CBN. 17 northern states blackouts to end November 12. Below that, we see the 2025 budget. Tinubu submits MTEF to National Assembly next week. Lagos Calabar Highway, Lagos community homeowners fault route diversion. And on the anti-party story, Arigbeshola camp mom as APC suspends ex-governors. Oh my God, so that's all I have for The Punch. Honestly, there's no one that is really catching my interest. But let me talk briefly on this fuel story. I was commuting to work today, and then, passengers now, they'll always, imagine you're entering somewhere for 1,000. And tomorrow you're hearing 1,1. Next morning you're hearing 1,2. The person was like, the driver too was frustrated. So he was saying, say that they increase fuel price every day. And I'm like, how? What's the increase like? Then somebody beside me was like, they're adding like 20 naira, 25 naira. And I'm like, so that is 20 naira and 25 naira that you're using to collect an additional 100 on how many people's. Do you understand? So I don't know, the overly increased fee of this thing can be amazing. Let me read the full story that I found on The Punch and link it to some other details that were not there. It says, barely 3 weeks after raising the price of petrol, Nigerians were outraged when the NNPCL on Tuesday adjusted the pump price. The national oil firm raised the retail price of petrol in Abuja to 1,060 naira from 1,000 30 naira. And the one that really caught my story was when Dangote actually faulted the continued importation of petrol by oil marketers and NNPC, despite the fact that the commodity was produced in the country by the $20 billion Lekki base plant. So Dangote is coming out to actually fault some of this importation being done by private marketers. So it's like putting the blame on them, almost like you guys are not trusting the process enough to stay with the plans that we have for the refinery and let it probably grow or something. So he's not putting a bit of the blame on all of them like that. And that's not the story. Honestly, Fuel story doesn't interest me. I really don't like reading it. But it's always...
It interests me with every part of blood.
Why would it interest you? It's always... I don't know. I don't like when something is not clear.
I
Like,
saw a
don't know where
video
we're
of
going
Dangote
to.
yesterday. He said that marketers are not buying from him. So it's not as if there are not few available. They are not buying from him. That's the issue.
I thought
And if they are not buying from him,
actually
no,
importing.
they are still importing. That's why each time they import finish, they import from wherever country they import from, they inflate it. Yesterday, Dangote came out to say they are not buying from me. Just yesterday afternoon, they inflated the price again. I saw the news over the weekend that 10,000 marketers will stop selling fuel because they are not making profit on everything.
So is it because of the profit that they're not buying from Dangote? Is it that buying
It's
from
because
Dangote
I think
is
like
not
there's a
profiting
body,
them?
maybe like an NNPCL, there's like an upper echelon whereby they are not buying, they are intentionally not buying from Dangote.
Probably don't want to bring in that monopoly back.
According to what, there was a time we had a
Not
conversation that he
sounding-
said there's a country, I think Bali or something, where our politicians own the refinery there. And for the refinery there to stay functional, Nigeria needs to continually import from there. So I think they're intentionally ensuring that, okay, don't worry, Dangote is, let him just keep doing
Whereas
this.
this
They will not buy
refinery
from
was not
him.
just to help us with our petrol and everything, but to strengthen our naira.
Wasn't
So
it yesterday
importing is
we
putting
heard
pressure on
Ghana
dollar
saying they want to
again.
buy from us?
Are we the ones doing ourselves?
I
at
think
this
so,
point?
to be honest. I think so.
I think at this point there should be regulations, strict regulation that
That's what I'm
should ban
saying.
them.
I
Who will
thought-
do
I
the
thought
strict
there was-
Follow up
regulation?
regulation.
I thought there was a time where they said that they should no longer import, fuel. They should start buying from Dangote. There was a time the news carried.
Yeah, of
They
course there
complained
was.
that Dangote was not meeting up to the capacity that he promised.
Hey,
That
well,
the
we
it's not
start
that
out
he
there.
is on
capacity was not enough for them. So that's why they had to go into
I
importing.
honestly feel like they should start buying from, even if he's producing 500 barrels per day, buy from him, then the remnant you can import from whatever country you're importing from. And in no time, Dangote himself will shoot up his standard. He's a business person.
I feel like this story is really not
There's
clear.
something
That's why I
There's
said there's like an
something.
upper echelon
there's
somewhere
lots
that's
of
in
loopholes
charge.
that we do not know about.
There's something.
Please, let's see the Guardian. Maybe it's clearer in the Guardian.
Moving straight to the Guardian newspaper, the major headline reads, State poor IGR raises fiscal sustainability concerns. And state under it, there's a map that says state IGR, which is internally generated revenue, hits 2.43 trillion naira. Citizens grapples with uncertainty. In the Northwest, it was split to about 206.22 billion naira. In the Northeast, it was split to about 104.35 billion naira. In the North Central, 387.65 billion naira. In the Southwest, 1.12 trillion naira. In the South-South, we have 486.74 billion naira. And in the Southeast, we have 142.95 billion naira. However, the 32 states depend on the FAAC, which is the Federal Account Allocation Committee, as they are responsible for reviewing and adopting the allocation of funds to the states from the federal government of Nigeria. It was split state by state, in which Lagos State was topping the chart, followed by FCT, then Rivers, Ogun Delta, among others. Moving away from that, Reps query permanent secretary over 1.4 billion naira abandoned road project. Documentation stalls ministerial nominee screening. Naira for crude, Tinubu seeks stakeholders' understanding as fuel prices rises. Away from that, federal government seeks regional cooperation against small arms IED threat. By the side corner of the Guardian newspaper, petrol consumption hovers at 50 million litres per day amid deregulation and smuggling. Telcos losing billions of naira to vandalism as NCC audit shows subscription shortfalls. The last but one story says stakeholders urge caution, review of tax bill for concessors. And the last one reads, Nigeria, US set up early warning situation room for conflict resolution. I would like to talk on the ministerial nominee screening. It was very easy to remove them. We just woke up one day and said, okay, so the cabinet to shuffle. We took out some people, you brought in some people. Today was supposed to be the screening. Today was supposed to start the screening at the Senate House. We're supposed to start screening them to see how competent, thank you for that word, how competent they are. But now documentation is stalling. So now they've shifted it forward again. I hope it doesn't become the case of the CGN, although what will be in Nigeria will definitely be. It's not the story of God or nothing. But for Nigeria, what will be, will definitely be. I hope you understand.
I feel you. But it's somehow funny how the Honorable Alex story is not on the newspaper.
Thank you.
What's the story about? I don't think I.
Oh, the Honorable Alex that slapped a driver in Abuja.
All right, the Abia State.
He came out, Abia State, yes. He came out to apologize that, oh, he's human. Oh, really? I forgot you're human. I thought you were made from the spirits. I don't know. He said he's human and he has a right to react. And if there's one thing I want to say is that driver has that endurance, that calm spirit. No, there's this calmness, not endurance.
There are some drivers that you don't go scot-free with such a tantrum.
I don't think we get to that extent.
Again, you know you have to read the room. So I think that's what you just did. Just read the room.
Calm.
Because right now, I mean, the story has actually just been swept under the carpet. Tell me how the criminal law of Lagos State is talking about battery and assault, right? I mean, these are felonies, right? And it's literally liable to like 3 years imprisonment and above, right? And somehow somebody is coming out to apologize. What should that apology do to me? You slapped me, you tore my clothes, and then you now wake up one morning and you are reading papers and you are telling me that you apologized, that you are a human.
You are human.
So I did not know that you were human before. Does the law not know that you are human before?
Yeah.
Those laws that are stated there, who are supposed to follow them?
Maybe spirits.
Who are supposed to follow them?
You know, maybe some people are untouchable eventually.
Oh,
that's what it is.
Speaking of untouchable.
That is what it is. So right now, yeah, it is the law, it is the law following us and not us following the law.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Narratives that need to be changed. Please, let's fly.
I beg. This country, people should just be allowing me to smile sometimes.
And Kamala.
I beg. All right, so the New York Times newspaper, but the right side of the newspaper, we have votes mean stricter era for asylum, limits likely to last under Trump or Harris. But the left side of the newspaper, Ukraine is set to face troops from North Korea. 10,000 soldiers to aid Russia in cursed fight. Middle of the newspaper, the pain of his son's death worsened by politics. Next to that, at The Guardian, a vivid display of mega fury. Bottom of the newspaper, sneakier than fire, chemicals kill Brazil's trees. Next to that, which is the last headline on the newspaper, has really so spooky rather. Even skeptics get the jitters. And that's all. So the headline I want to quickly touch on is votes mean stricter as era for asylum. So the upcoming 2024 presidential election in the United States might change how the country handles asylum requests from people fleeing persecution or violence. Historically, the United States had been seen as a safe haven for such individuals. Both main candidates in the election, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, are proposing stricter limits on who can receive asylum. Now, this shift is in response to growing concern among Americans about immigration, especially as the significant number of people, over 169,000 people, sought asylum in the United States southern border last year. Oh, wow, that's a lot, though. So all these people are running from persecution or violence.
Not all of them is running for persecution or violence.
Or some wants to travel, so they're just using that, that mechanism.
Just take asylum and then just leave the country. I quickly like to touch on the Iran-Israel story. I spent my weekend watching history. I mean, dates back of what really happened between Israel and Iran and why they are fighting, why the Arabs are in support, why the US are in support. And you'll be shocked that they played something called the media game. Everybody will blame the Israels or the Jews for this thing. But when you go down history, because I literally spent time watching from CNN, from journalists, and I realized that they were not the problem. But because they are staying in a land which is believed to be part of Arab or believed to be Iranian, a Muslim country, they are now onto them on purpose. I think by now we should bury every form of Third World War, Second World War, a world war. Iran is our enemy. Because it's funny how Arabs are the ones gingering them. So, okay, fight. But when it comes to support them for the world, you will not see them there. Arab is busy building their country. Arab is busy. Let's think of Arab 2024, 2040, 2050. And they're just there fighting innocent fights, fighting something that has happened some 100 years ago.
My own is even the role that the United States is playing in all of this. And that's why when I was discussing with a friend and they were trying to analyze Trump and Kamala, sorry that I always bring Trump and Kamala here. He was saying that because of the many responsibilities that the United States play in all this conflict between different countries, that they really need the kind of ruler that can handle the pressure that comes. And I remember that my friend said, do you think Kamala can actually do this? Do you understand? Like the wars over time, I think there was even, isn't it Putin or one of these world leaders that
Russian president Vladimir Putin.
Exactly. That said, I think he's the one that is actually scared of Trump. There's one like this that he has this kind of
I think they are scared based Trump. On their missile, based on their ammunition.
No, I think Russia is more of the personality of Trump and what Trump can do or not do. So Trump has this kind of aura and personality that seems to speak fear.
And speaking of ammunition, US has very strong missiles. They have a bomb that can bomb 3 countries at the same time. Yes, Russia is trying to get there. China is also trying to get there.
Russia is actually the ones producing these things now.
But they sell to the US. So at the moment, US has more than Russia.
You don't want to know what the United States has got. All right, that's all we can take for the headline stories this morning. We've had a lot of things to look at, from The Punch to The Guardian and The New York Times. We'd like to take a short break now. When we return, we are going straight to the hot topic for today. Today is Wednesday. So Wednesday is all about our mental health, wellness, and all of that. So today, we're discussing the connectivity between sleep. Yes, you heard that right. Sleep and productivity. So this is something you do not want to miss. Stay with us. We'll be right back shortly.
Nigeria, by extension, Africa, is faced with a lot of challenges.
With the growing youth, that is a ticking time bomb.
We're blessed people with a diverse culture who have a lot to say.
And yes, we are talking. It is important we drive conversations that informs, inspires, and influences thoughts and actions.
If we say there is beauty in diversity, then let us embrace our diverse culture.
We must continue to courageously be the voice of transformation.
As we are the hope for the future, yesterday's conversation shaped today.
What are you saying to shape your tomorrow?
We know you have a lot to say, and we are here to hear you.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Today we're exploring a topic that affects nearly every part of our day-to-day lives, but often doesn't get the attention it deserves: the connection between sleep and productivity. Studies show that adults need 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep to function at their best. but many people cut back on sleep to get more done. The question is, does this really help us in the long run, or are we actually losing productivity by sacrificing sleep? In today's conversation, we'll explore why sleep matters, how it impacts our performance, and what habits might help us get better rest. And of course, I will be doing this with my ladies. All right, guys, girls. What do I call you now?
Mommies.
Mommies. That was on point. We're talking about sleep today, and I was going to get us a clinical psychologist to give us some expert view, but something's happened in between it, but we can still talk about it. So, sleep there are a lot of quotes on sleep. You hear people say today, you need 7 to 9 hours sleep to be sharp, to be ready, and adults should get 7 to 9 hours, children get maybe more. But then you hear somebody say, if you want to be successful and you're sleeping too much, you don't know what you're doing with your life. And honestly, so there's a guilt when I sleep too much. There's also a guilt when I don't get enough sleep. So I'm caught in the middle. Should I sleep or should I be opening my eyes?
Good question.
Or put it but let's now understand sleep from the point of actually being productive. So we're discussing this from the angle of professionals, as people who work, as people who have a lot of tasks to be done. My first question is, why do you think sleep is actually being overlooked as a crucial factor in being productive? I think for some people, I mentioned a quote that says, if you want to be successful, you can't be sleeping too much. People think that if you oversleep, you are not serious with your life. They think that you probably don't have goals that you want to achieve. They will give you stories of the richest men in the world that they don't sleep at night.
They don't sleep.
And sometimes, if you are in university, the people that are seen as the scholars are those that they open their eyes throughout the night. Exactly. So I remember when I was reading for one of my exams, then in school, I like my night sleep. So my roommates already will be awake by 1 thereabouts. They wake me, Precious, are you not going to read?
And that's my
And
sister.
I'm like, I don't want to read now. I'm going to read during the day. This night is for me to sleep. But then, as you're sleeping, there's a lot of guilt that this girl, is she serious with her academics?
God bless you.
But I am actually. I just want to actually sleep. So what's that connection? And why do we think sleep is very crucial for productivity? Just tell me your own sleep routine, first of all. Let me know how your sleep routine is.
Hey.
Okay, so I saw a post yesterday. I was trying to look for the post so I can read it out exactly.
All
I
right, give
screenshotted
us
it, but I
the
just-
facts.
The person said, and I quote, split your 24 hours into 8 hours. 8 hours for work.
I did see it on your status.
8 hours for work, 8 hours for sleep, 8 hours for, I think, health and something.
Family, relationship.
So which means the number of hours you're expected to spend at workplace is 8 hours, which is the normal 9 to 5. I mean, I'm talking about normal standard,
I
9
feel
to
you.
5. And then 8 hours for sleep, which is maybe from 10 to 6 in the morning or something. And then the remaining 8 hours is to catch up with families, your gym time, your eating time, and all of that. I subscribe to that type of routine because I believe that's how we should live our lives. But now let's talk about reality.
Thank you for putting reality, because I was going to say I do not subscribe to that routine, and that routine is so far-fetched, honestly.
The reality is different, and our realities, like we always say, are different.
Yeah.
At the moment, last week or 2 weeks ago and last week, my sleeping routine was barely 4 hours at night because after finishing what I have to do around at 2 p.m., at 2 a.m. at night, maybe a generator is on and generator is very close to my ear. I cannot sleep, and maybe I'm catching my sleep around 4, 3. I mean, I'm very realistic now. Around 3:30, 4, and I'm waking up 5 again to prepare for my day to resume by 6, max 6:30. Do you understand? And I'm leaving here by 6:30 p.m. or 5 p.m. Let's take 5 p.m. and I'm coming back 7 p.m. You can imagine how jam-packed my day is already. I have a lot to do. I have this, and I also have to ensure that I don't look sleepy. There are no eye bags under my eye. I'm looking very, very sharp. Did it affect me? Yes, it affected me over the weekend because I was just sleeping, waking up. Then the rain beat me. There was no light. It affected me. But I feel like as professionals, you shouldn't joke with the 8 hours of sleep.
But
With
honestly,
or without
you're saying
you,
as
your
professionals,
business.
let us look at a typical professional lifestyle. Let's take a corporate person that works 9 to 5. A 9 to 5 means you're not leaving your house 8:30. You're waking up as early as 4 So that in case you're working on the island or somewhere very far from where you stay, you're waking up as early as 4 o'clock and you get to work, let's say 8:30, 9. That's how many hours you've used already from the 9 to 5. And then you close by 5. When are you getting back home? You're getting back sometimes 8, 9 o'clock. So it feels like the huge part of your day is already being used to other tasks that want you to. We have tasks, we have deadlines, we have a lot of things to do. So how is that very realistic? Do you understand? So that means in the middle, what do we have? Just few hours for lunch. You're coming back. You want to really catch sometimes 4-5 hours sleep. And again, that 4-5 hours sleep is if you do not have deadlines that spilled over from work. Do you understand? So it's like, when do we actually get to sleep? We're going to say something.
That's why, I mean, for professionals, it's important that their bosses understand, like their employers understand that these people need like break, right? And that's why.
Let's speak in reality. The bosses actually really understand.
I'm speaking in reality, right?
Okay.
So
that's reality.
My reality, actually. So I mean, it's okay. That's why I mean, most times you try as much as possible to be very flexible. Do you get? There are some workplaces that are a bit flexible. They are not always on your neck to know what you are doing, how you are doing it.
So
when
do you
do
suggest
it,
sleeping
exactly.
at work?
What do you say?
Do you
Sleeping
suggest sleeping at work?
Not sleeping per se, but probably resting, right? Just give yourself 1 hour without doing anything, not doing anything.
But what you actually need is
do you know
sleep,
that?
not the rest. No, we're trying to explain ourselves, right? What you actually need is that deep sleep.
If it is that, if
rest.
you can use that 1 hour to sleep, then what works again?
And you now wake up. You know the way you wake up.
Wait, you know that everybody reality is quite different. You will not catch me sleeping in the afternoon. I am not a siesta person. Do you get? So that literally nights you're talking about, that's when I would sleep. You would never catch me sleeping in the afternoon. The least I can do is to just close my eyes and rest. Do you get? But I actually not consider that rest as sleep, even though they are two different things. Do you get what I'm saying? Because at that time, I'm not doing anything. I've literally shut myself out from everything that's going on. In short, my spirit is not there. Do you get what I'm saying? But I am not sleeping. So, I mean, that can actually work. Again, it depends on who the person is. For me, if I actually, anything that will make me sleep in the afternoon, I'm not feeling well.
Okay.
That's what it is.
So that means you've trained, sorry, because you've trained your body
probably trained
to be used to 3-4 hours sleep. My. Please go ahead.
Aisha Adam said something. It is in Nigeria, people are proud of saying, I don't sleep at night. To be honest, it's nothing to be proud of.
It's really not our fault.
It seems like you are the most hardworking when you say that. Like, I have one project I'm doing.
I don't know how
sleep
to
at
sleep.
night.
I'm thinking about work. I wake up 5 a.m. in the morning. I hit the road 6. You're trying to make it sound like others that are sleeping overtime are wasting their life.
I think that's how I always felt every overnight in school.
What?
People are reading. You see them at the court. There's a place we call Quadrangle.
No, you have to do what works for you.
Yeah, read. I'm like, hey, I will carry my book.
So she made me understand the fact that she made me understand the fact that my reality is not your reality. You might have a lot of things that keep you awake.
Yeah.
I, as a person, I can have my God forbid, like an entire world can be crashing down, and I will still find my sleep. I will still find peace in chaos. I will still sleep, and I'll be fine.
Joy in chaos.
Do you understand? So, our sleeping schedule, I think, according to Aisha Adams again, she said, if your week, this thing is rough, ensure that weekend you don't joke with your sleep. Ensure that weekend you try as much as possible to catch up.
But that's the same weekend that people want to use to go for parties. I told my friends that parties are actually stressful.
To be honest,
even if I'm not the one doing the party, like sitting in the hall with so much noise and loud music is stressing me so much. Imagine my Saturday I want to use to rest. I'm going for one party. And of course, if you're in a party now, no matter how introverted you are, your friends will want to bring you out of your shell. That's a whole lot of stress. I wanted to talk about that power nap stuff that we were talking about because I've seen it work for me several times. At a point, I used to feel like I had a problem with sleep because it felt like I sleep a lot. No, honestly, maybe because I've heard a lot of successful quotes that says if you are sleeping 6 to 8 hours, you're not very ready. No,
those quotes are just speaking to people prioritizing. No, just prioritizing your work and sleep. There are people, no, for real. There are people that sleep too much and they work less, and you expect to actually achieve certain kind of goals. You are just being unrealistic.
What's too much sleep for you?
Growing up, I feel sleeping too much will make you dull. I was so scared of that thing.
That one is part of it, actually. Let's be for real.
Yes, science to prove that. Please don't go that way.
This is it here. This is probably my philosophy or something. I don't know why you guys are laughing. I just feel like
makes you weak.
when you sleep too much and you actually have work to do. Tell me how you have work to do that needs to be done, and you are probably procrastinating because you want to sleep.
But I need to be productive to be able to do that job.
That's different. That is different. That is not even you procrastinating. If you have work to do, right, and you feel like, okay, your health status at that time cannot carry it, that's you being reasonable. But when you have work to do, you are okay. But you feel like you still want to sleep.
I'm so sorry, God's beauty. I feel like you're talking about it from your own angle. Okay, now let me share the story about what happened.
Let
me share the story of what happened to me on Sunday stroke Monday. I took it, fast forward to church. I knew I wanted to sleep in the afternoon. But a friend of mine came there. Okay, she's in my area. She's coming to my house. Okay, because of that, I could not sleep in the afternoon. Right. Before she left around 8 p.m., then I had something to do at night. So I slept around 1:30 to 2. That actually I crashed on the bed 1:30 to 2. Remember, I have to wake up 5 in the morning to actually prepare and everything. So sleep finally took me off around 2:30, 3 o'clock, and I woke up 5 o'clock. Oh, let me boil and then set on the road. I got to the road. I was thinking my usual this thing past 6. I would have seen a car or something. 6:30, I was still standing on the road. 7, I was still standing on the road. 7:30, I was still standing on the road. 8:30, standing on the road already was making me tired. And weak.
Especially with Nigerian sun.
I had to sit down by that roadside. I wish nobody saw. I had to sit down by that roadside to just catch my breath because I was already tired. And I don't want to drink water because I might be pressed on the way. So I don't want to drink too much. I had to sit on the road till like 8 o'clock. That's okay. I'm not seeing anybody, any car, any public transport going my way. I have to go back to another place and then take times 3,000 naira for half my journey. Then getting to half my journey took another one. I spent like 4,000 naira. Then I got here. Then I remember, I have to trek a mile again. No, I'm serious.
No, I feel you.
Considering what happened to me Sunday morning, and I'm just pulling my box on that Monday morning. Okay, let's just go. So for me, I don't want to pass aggression on anybody. I don't have the energy to complain because I feel like it's nobody's problem. So I should not pass it. I just want to keep to myself, okay, for the rest of the day, for the rest of the week. Let me just be myself.
Sorry to cut you short a bit. Yeah. So based on what God's beauty said, that sometimes some people are not exactly tired. So why are they sleeping when they have work to do? But that's where we get it wrong, I think. Because sleep is not necessarily when you are tired or not. Sleep is a necessity. It's almost like you have a car and you're like, oh, the fuel is still here. It has not broken down yet. Why do I need to recharge and get the fuel? So it's a necessity that is needed. And that's why there's a stipulated hour or hours of sleep that a person should get. Sure. Now, is there the extreme of people that oversleep? Definitely. Let me read some facts that I got. So it says effects of sleep deprivation on productivity. Lack of sleep can impair cognitive performance, slow down reaction times, and increase the likelihood of errors. Okay? So a Harvard study found that sleep deprivation can cost millions, companies to lose millions in productivity. Another one I wanted us to talk about is naps and productivity. It says short naps, that's 15 to 20 minutes, can boost alertness and cognitive function even in the middle of a workday. And I think this is actually one hack that busy professionals can actually put into their schedule. What do I mean by that? So I wasn't working in school as much. I was just a student that had, hectic lecture hours and all of that. And you know how Nigerian lecturers can be. They might not come into your class until it's probably 30 minutes to the... But that 2 hours I stipulated has already drained you. There's noise. People are saying different things in class. The thing is just so stressful. So the 2 hours is still counting. So what I used to do then, I used to try to find a place to rest my head. And I noticed that sometimes when I get 10, 15, 20 minutes of laying down my head, it feels very qualitative. I wake up feeling a bit refreshed.
I just talked about.
Do you understand? And I think it's something that we should inculcate. Of course, it now depends on the kind of environment or the situation that you're in. Because, I don't know, I feel it to be a bit weird when you sleep in certain...
kind of places.
Some cannot even sleep with loud noises.
Exactly. And it depends on where your own workspace is. Imagine your workspace is an open workspace where you don't have an office of your own with closed doors and louvers and everything. Or you are sitting in one round table family discussion kind of office. You might feel a bit uncomfortable trying to rest your head there. I'm going to say something.
Well, I feel like regardless of where it is, that's why I talked about rest and not sleep. It's just important that you just put your head down. Like, those things are important. I'm not a siesta person, but I would always say people that have the leverage or whatever, can just utilize
All
it.
right, we have to take a short break now. When we return, we'll wrap up our conversation, and that'll be all. So stay with us. We'll be right back shortly. All right, so welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Behind the camera, God's Beauty was letting us know that she's still holding on to her claim that too much sleep is not good for you. And then I mentioned that if you sleep too much, you look like okra, but that's just by the way. So I'd like to talk about some sleep routine and schedule that, of course, we're talking about productivity, but we must be very balanced in our view and explore all the things that need to be explored. So there are different sleep patterns that need to be discouraged. Some people, in a bid to keep themselves active during the day and avoid sleeping. I'm using school hours because, I'm a fresh girl that just came out of school. Hallelujah. So my experiences are very school-based. And the hectic activities that we had was schoolwork. So the 9 to 5 is not really what a lot of students can relate to. So it's schoolwork that is literally like 9 to 5 for us too as well. So some sleep routines that we used in school or some routines that we used to inhibit sleep is actually not advisable. And if you check research, you find out. So what were they? Sometimes people take caffeine. People would, I don't want to call names of some caffeine companies and all of that, but they mix some things together and their eyes are like this. I know a particular friend of mine, I hope he's listening to this now. At a point, I'm like, what are you really doing to yourself? What are you really coding at night that you are taking all this because you want to be awake? Do you understand? It's really not helpful because it has adverse effects for you during the day. And have you noticed that people that do not get to rest well, apart from them not being productive at work, it also affects their relationship with people.
I agree.
I have noticed that if I don't get enough sleep, I become very cranky. Everything begins to irritate me. Don't talk, don't breathe too much near me. Why are you smelling like this? This day is your perfume. Everything just looks, I start feeling like a pregnant woman that wants to throw up. So there are different routines about our sleep that needs to be cautioned. So you were going to share some with us.
Oh, okay.
Please go ahead.
Too much sleep. Let me start with that, right? So we have the...
From someone that doesn't sleep.
I sleep, don't do that.
Okay.
Just that I don't sleep in the afternoon. There's no reason for me to. Right, so we have risks of chronic disease, diabetes, anxiety, obesity, people that say they want to reduce, they're sleeping too much. Well done. No. But coming back to what you said, right, the whole routine thing. See, I'm not saying that you should not sleep. That's not what I am saying. What I'm saying is ensure that when it's time for you to sleep, you are actually sleeping. And when it's time for you to work, you are actually working. Do you get? Those people that they would only them will complain that, they don't sleep well and you're sleeping by 1. You've been on your phone for how many hours?
Very true.
Right? Then you sleep by 1. Then you now wake up by 5 and you'll be complaining that, you did not sleep well. You not
and it's not your work. It's definitely not related to your work.
Exactly.
Right? So, those, if you, let me coming back to you, schooling and all of those things now. I was one of those persons that burnt midnight candle and all, right?
I didn't burn any.
I had to. Everybody have different mechanisms of, reading and all. My sister would prefer to sleep. That one likes sleep.
Let's read during the day when everywhere is. Go to the library.
It is okay
sit under
to
the
sleep.
sun.
It is okay to sleep during the day. right? That morning period, that morning time, after I finish eating akara and come. I'm so
Okay.
sorry, but you cannot literally sleep. That time, so you sleep will be in your eyes because it's more
Because
like
of what
you
you
did
just
in
ate.
video. Exactly.
You're mentioning akara now. Why would you sleep after that?
Tell me. So what I mean, tell people that are going to school and all is that for that night that you are taking off to read and all, that morning period, like immediately you're done. I used to like wake up by 12. I read from
So that
12.
means that's why you don't have classes in the morning.
Again, I mean, most of the times that I do those readings at night is due to like exam is forthcoming, a month to the exam and all of that. But during normal, you're still going to school and all. I mean, that's why you should read immediately you're done, like from every class.
Yeah.
Just check through, or before you sleep, right? Just check through all the things that you've been taught. Oh, this law said this. Oh, in criminal law, this is what we learned. Oh, defamation, section, verse, and
Jurisdiction,
all of that.
I know that one.
I think people should really do what works for them.
Again,
I can be a morning person and you're not a morning person. Some people prefer to wake up at night and read and be still productive in the morning. I mean, I said it on Friday. I was so grateful to God that all through that period, I was still very sharp in the morning. And I didn't have eye bags and I was not being cranky or something. I was still very good with everybody. So you should do what works for you. So during my uni days, I prefer to read in the early hours of the morning. I'm that type of person that will leave my hostel around 4:35, go to a class to read. That I like that early morning reading. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 a.m., 7:30, I'm going back to my hostel. Yeah. So just do what works for you. If midnight reading works for you, but do not compromise on your 8-hour sleep. Either you are a sleeping person or you are not a sleeping person. Ensure that 8-hour sleep, you are sleeping in the right position.
True.
You are not sleeping with
taking away distractions.
I know of someone that said he sleeps with AirPod music on.
Yeah.
I feel like you're not sleeping when you're still listening to your subconscious.
Your thoughts
Although
it
proved me wrong by sending me one of these white person videos that when you're sleeping with music on, this. But I feel like when you're sleeping with music on, you're not actually sleeping because sleep is supposed to be a deeper form of rest, like they say, close to death. Yeah. So sleep in the right position, sleep in the right sleep without music on. Be intentional about sleeping.
Extract yourself from activities before sleep.
And then
don't just crash into sleep.
Don't just sleep. Let me just quickly sleep and you're waking up. That's like you're trying to catch a nap or you're trying to rest. But no matter what your working schedule is, no matter what, okay, you have to wake up in the morning to go to the island, come back. We honestly know it can be stressful. You can plan your day and what you meet on the road, or maybe a tanker fell on the road or something. We just scatter your bond. But try to ensure that little time you have, maybe that weekend, instead of going to that, we are outside. Stay back and sleep because when you sneeze 2 times, Monday is knocking.
All right, I was going to ask you this question, Shola, you particularly, because you strike me as that couple girly, as they say. What are your thoughts about companies or different organizations having nap times or rest period apart from lunch breaks?
Yeah,
do you think it's something that can work?
I think it can only work in public organizations. Let me state my point. It works in public firms, so where maybe they are government owned, or maybe the owner of the company does not stay in Nigeria. A company, let me land my point.
All right.
A company where the CEO is in Nigeria, he or she knows how much they are spending on diesel.
You you're saying something.
No, I'm just being sincere.
And you are saying it with a straight face.
He or she knows how much she's rolling out. They are rolling out for salaries in a month. They know how much they're rolling out for diesel, for Wi-Fi, for this and that. They're rolling out like 5 million in a month, and they want to catch you sleep. Why do you think some companies don't grant off days? They want to see you on your table 24/7. They want to get the quality of their money. So I feel like for private workers, for private people working in private firm, sleep time. How many companies have that 9 to 10?
Maybe
10
they
to
won't
12
title it as
hours?
sleep time because it will look like, are we joking here? Maybe
What-
like
yeah,
the
now
lunch
you're talking.
break can have like
How
a
many
snack.
companies actually
What-
have lunch break? They tell you to eat when you're free, Abi. How many companies actually
I would
have
say
12
is-
to 1 as lunch break time? Even banks do not have it.
No, I see. This is it here. I don't even subscribe to the 12 to 1 because the truth is not everybody actually eats by that time. Let's be for real.
That's why I said most companies do not have
that
lunch break
person.
time.
This is what I would suggest: flexibility.
From the part of the employer or employee.
From the employer to the employees. Your employees rather should be allow them to do whatever they want to do. The end game is whatever deliverables that you're supposed to deliver. certain time should be delivered. So I don't want to know whether you slept the whole period or whether you worked the whole period. I'm so less concerned, to be honest. My own is the work I've given to you, do it and deliver it well. So whatever that will take you to actually do
that job,
whatever mountain that you're supposed to move to ensure that that deliverable is actually delivered, that is what me, that is like is the work that me I'm concerned about.
That is
and
your
I feel like
own
that
philosophy.
Is what,
it doesn't
that is
work.
what that I feel like this kind of philosophy is something that all employers should emanate. Like this is what they should adopt.
I feel like in Nigerian space right now, it might not work. How many CEOs want to give you a day off and they are paying you 150,000 in a month? You want to take a day? Why am I giving you a day off? Do you understand? The reality of the economy is not. Yes, I know Nigerians. When you give them a hand, I'm sorry to say it for the second time, they were extended to a hand. When you tell them to take a day off and work from home, that's when they will tell you there's light issue, there is Wi-Fi network issue. That might be true. But the CEOs will see it as, okay, if you were in the office, maybe another thing would have been done. But as employees or employers, try to find the striking balance in the middle. When we are talking about sleep, sleep is productivity in core. You want me to be very creative, you want me to be productive, but I am tired. I am stressed.
Burnt out.
I am burnt out. It might not even be sleep I need. It might just be a moment to myself to breathe in and breathe out. It might just be a moment out of... Why are people taking vacation when you can sleep and wake up in your house? Why are people leaving the house and going to hotels to relax? The ambience is different. The type of sleep you get there is different.
I feel you.
The fact that you don't have to think about
The fact that you don't have to think about, you're not seeing some faces. Because I'm serious. Seeing some faces, seeing all the, I'm thinking of work, I'm thinking of tomorrow's breakfast, I'm thinking of there.
But when you're how you think when you see me?
No, she's giving an example.
I'm giving an example. Let's
And
put
I
it that
support
way.
her, actually.
So when you're seeing some people, when you're in some environment, you are thinking of work.
It's work.
It's work, yeah. But when you're in a different location, then you can be creative, you can be productive. Okay, so this thing can actually do this thing. Wow, I never... And you would have crossed that path 10 times doing the same thing.
So before we wrap up the show, let us now address, we spoke about it very briefly, but I'd like us to stretch it more so that it can really sink into people. There are actually routines that need to be stopped for us to have quality sleep, because sometimes it's not the time that is the problem. I'll give you an example. We mentioned it very briefly. Some people can be on their phone, screen time. You want to sleep 6 to 8 hours, or at least 6 hours, because I feel like that 8 hours is a bit overstretched if you have a lot of work to do. Let's just stay for 6 hours, right? 6 hours is still fair now. You want to sleep 6 hours and you're back by 9 or 10 and you're done with everything by 10 and you are binge watching on a movie till 1 o'clock. You know, the truth is you are not very serious as a person. Because you are not. You are cutting 3 hours of your sleep. Honestly, if I set my alarm, every time I set my alarm, I'm always checking how many hours sleep would I get. It's very key for me. So when I notice that, this is, because I have an alarm for tomorrow morning already. So it's already showing me some 14 hours sleep left. I'm like, okay. Once I see that it is reducing too much, no, I have to stop whatever I am doing, at least if it's something that I can be set, be very critical to attend to sleep. Another thing again that would now go for people that work is procrastination, like you mentioned. Some people push task for later. You push it so much that it now becomes so cumbersome and you have to use now days of not sleeping to fix it. And that you don't know those days of not sleeping, what it does to your health, your mental health, to your body in general. Because your body, honestly, our body is like something that gets used to things very quickly. So your body is already used to having this number of sleep and you want to quickly inculcate not sleeping well. It might not tell good at the end of the day. So as we wrap up, just share some sleep routines.
I wanted to ask this, right?
Okay,
what do you think about people that sleep with light, without light?
I was going to say that too, but I felt like...
I want to get that.
Okay, let me just say that my final thoughts. Let me start with your question.
I don't sleep with light.
I don't sleep with light.
So why? I want to understand how we are able to, adopt
it's
that.
The calmness that it brings.
Exactly.
Light makes noise. Look at this studio that we're in right now.
So much noise.
There's noise just by light.
Say it again. Oh, wow. I feel like there's something I need to hear.
So you know that we're talking about sleeping in the right position, sleeping without music on, sleeping without light on. You're sleeping, there's rays of light in your eye.
Yes.
There's probably heat. It's causing unnecessary heat. Then why do
you
people
can see
cover
everything
their
in your
eyes.
room so clearly. That's when you know, this thing is not supposed to be like this. You don't want to
stand up.
No.
So to answer your question, so can you rephrase again?
I was saying, what good sleep routine can we adjust and things to cut off to be able to have good
First
sleep?
thing, you are the architect of your fortune or misfortune. And
Bella
like
na
Maja,
quote.
you just said,
Can you
I was
release
waiting for
a
her
book,
to say
ma?
your power,
please.
Can you release a book of quotes?
Like Maja, you just said the last time he came here, he said, if you want to ensure that you're resting, take away something called gadget, phone, or anything. Be intentional about dropping your phone. If you want to scroll through TikTok, you will scroll till infinity. If you want to scroll through WhatsApp status, you will keep scrolling. Instagram, you will keep seeing new videos. So for me, I will drop my phone, and I'll start thinking of, okay, if I should drop my phone, it will save me the data that I'll waste on watching videos. It will save me that data. So if you are intentional about sleeping,
Sometimes it's not even
drop
scrolling, it's
your
talking
phone.
with people. There are some people you know that when we start talking like this, let's not put it.
God knows I
People-
won't reply.
Are you serious?
To the following day, because, well, except I just want to be courtesy and be nice. It's okay, please, I need to go to bed, right? But some people would not see that
So
way.
we should
So
learn
just-
to actually say that very
we are
often.
growing. Are we not growing?
It's
Do
it's
you have
time
the
to
right to
sleep
say
right
yes
now.
or no? Oh, I'm so sorry, I have to go to bed. We'll pick up this conversation in the morning.
Later.
Even if it's your boss or there's a way you would say it, okay, I'm so sorry, I have to go off now, something. Or maybe you don't want to use that word go off now. You can use something else. But you know that this sleep is important. First thing first, Nigerians, drop your phone.
2
Kilo
hours. In
day.
fact, studies say 2 hours before your bedtime.
Oh, really?
The reason why is because we probably didn't have the
a
time
few
to spend
minutes,
our
so-
phone during the day.
2 hours
So at
because you're
night-
able to clear your mind of stuff. This is where we wrap up the show today. We can talk about sleep, but after this show, who knows, we might catch some 20-minute snap. Till tomorrow, this is Still Raise Breakfast. Join us again 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Have a great day.
Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Prime Time. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?